In this lecture, we will cover metal oxide semiconductor field effect transistor, or in simple we can say MOSFET, or sometimes it is called simply MOS. Okay, so this presentation will cover the basics of MOSFET. So the first slide, in that first slide you can see this one is the cross sectional view of a MOSFET that have three terminal: source, gate and drain. Okay, and basically it is MOSFET is fabricated on a platform or wafer is our p-type substrate. Over that p-type substrate we are making n plus region, and we are inverting the p-type region with n, that will cover later. And it have one more terminal, bulk, and this length is our channel length and channel width. Okay, so we will go to the detail. Okay, so we will start with the simple basic. So first, the two things we have to keep in our mind, that their transistor, when transistor comes we have to think about either BJT or MOSFET. So here we can see that the two commercially available BJT are BC557, which is a PNP transistor, and BC547 NPN. There are so many other commercially available IC maybe are available, but I am just making this one for some transistor name for our knowledge. And this BJT is characterized by simple equation IC equals to beta IB, and the another two MOSFETs are there, commercially available MOSFET. Basically one is N channel, and these are the power MOSFET, N channel MOSFET and P channel MOSFET. So the example of N channel MOSFET is our IRF 840. Okay, and another one is our P channel IRF 4905 is our P channel MOSFET, and this one is characterized by the equation, Shockley equation, ID equals to IDSS 1 minus VGS by VP whole square. That thing we will discuss later. So first we have to know the differences. So the very first difference between BJT and MOSFET, so BJT means bipolar. Okay, both electrons and hole are responsible for the operation of a BJT, but in case of MOSFET only electron or hole are responsible. So this MOSFET is basically a unipolar device. So BJT, as per the name, bipolar, and MOSFET unipolar. So these are the some differences. So the first difference, one more difference, this one is a current controlled device, a bipolar. And bipolar, both electrons and holes are responsible for the circuit operation. MOSFET is a voltage control device, okay, due to gate to source voltage, and only electrons for N channel and holes for P channel participate in the operation. Okay, AC voltage gain, if you find the AC voltage gain in case of BJT, it is very high but low input impedance. But on the other case, MOSFET have very low AC voltage gain and high input impedance. Very high input impedance, why? Because the gate current is almost zero. We will cover it, all these things, but these are the few differences that we have to know. And next difference, BJT is less temperature stable and size is bigger with MOS, and in general it is unsymmetrical in nature. If we go for the fabrication step, we have found that the BJT fabrication is much typical or much complex in comparison to the BJT MOSFET one, and BJT have size bigger in comparison to MOS, but MOS is a temperature stable and size is much smaller than BJT and a symmetrical device. In general, we can say if we want to change drain and source, we can easily change the source terminal. Source terminal can be treated as drain and drain terminal can be treated as source. This flexibility is available in MOSFET, so that's why it is symmetrical. I will tell you later how it is symmetrical device. So these are the three key differences of a BJT and MOSFET. So BJT, bipolar junction transistor, both electrons and holes are responsible and a current control device. MOSFET is a voltage control device, okay, and it is unipolar. Either electrons in case of N channel device operates and holes in a P channel device. AC voltage gain is high in case of BJT but low input impedance. AC voltage gain is low in MOSFET but high input impedance. Due to high input impedance, due to gate current IG equals to almost 0. BJT is less temperature stable but MOSFET high temperature stable. Size is bigger in BJT, size is lesser in MOSFET, and MOSFET is a symmetrical device but BJT is a unsymmetrical device. Okay, so this one is the basic. We have to know the differences. Next, now we have to start with the structure. So this one is the basic structure of an enhancement type. Why I am telling this one enhancement, I will cover. So we have a p-type substrate, n plus doping area over n plus. We have made drain and source region, and gate there is a oxide layer. Okay, yellow one is a oxide layer, and above oxide there is a metal that will work as a gate, and there is a bulk terminal. Okay, length L, that is our channel length, and channel width. Okay, so this one is the symbol. Okay, and I am saying this one is our enhancement type MOSFET, NMOS. So how we are saying this one as a, we are telling this one is a NMOS. So here first see, this one we are saying enhancement. Why enhancement? So there are three broken line. If there is a broken line, we can say this is an enhancement type. Okay, very first. So this, if there is transistor and this broken line, in some interview questions, some people may ask, what did broken line signify? So this broken line signifies the absence of channel. Okay. So before that, this one is basically, okay. So before that, one more thing, I just inverted this one in that fashion. So gate, drain and source. Okay, channel length, width. Okay, so this broken line I told is the absence of channel. How this was absence of channel I will cover. The more basic about how this broken line, what the broken line shows, what this gap signifies, and why this arrow is from that direction, not in that direction. That will also cover. So typical NMOS structure. So this one is for the our knowledge. So parameter channel length in typical one 0.1 to 3 micron, width 0.2 to 100 micron, oxide thickness 2 to 50 nanometer. So now this one is the basic one, but this one is very older one. So now we have to think about this one, means what the symbol signify, what this broken line, this arrow and this gap. Okay, so in next slide I will cover this thing. So this one is the basic. Okay, these are the some fundamental. Now we have to come with the what this transistor gives, what information we can get from this transistor. Okay, so physical significance of the MOS symbol, NMOS symbol. So this one is the symbol and I am saying this one is a NMOS symbol. So now this broken line, okay, three broken lines are there. So this broken line shows the, this broken line 1 2 3 and there is some gap in between. So these broken lines signify the absence of channel. Okay, absence of channel between drain and source. The drain and source, there is no channel formation. So that's why this one is enhancement. We will cover why enhancement, everything, but now you just think about this one. If some figure is like that, so we can say this one is enhancement, and this broken lines shows the absence of channel between drain and source. Okay, Now you see there is a gap. Okay, there is a gap here. Okay, so this gap is nothing but simply your oxide thickness. Gap signifies the oxide layer or oxide thickness. Okay, clear? In the very first slide I've shown you na, means yellow line. So yellow region is oxide layer. Okay, so this gap signifies the oxide layer. Now next, this arrow what it shows, because we are making this nMOS region in our p-type substrate and we are inverting p upper surface of the p-type substrate to n. So there is a flow from p to n, so the always current flow from p to n. So we are making the substrate arrow direction from p to n. Arrow signal in bulk shows substrate p to n channel. Substrate is p, basically our substrate is p, so p to n, trick current flow from p to n. Okay, so substrate is p, so current direction is from this direction, p to n. Okay, so these are the three things, or in general it can be also signify as this type of diagram. So but this one is the very good one. If interview someone asks you have to draw the nMOS symbol, you just draw this one. This is a very basic and fundamental and more accurate in comparison to these two, but in general we are writing or you are drawing like that. So these are the three simple diagram for the nMOS. Okay, and this arrow, if some arrow in any of the terminals, so this arrow signifies the source. If arrow is there, then you can definitely say this one is our source region. Okay, and get very clear, and then other one. So arrow symbol is there in some terminals, so you can say this one is our source terminal. Okay, so this one is a modified circuit symbol, okay, of an nMOS with an arrowhead on the source terminal. So that thing you have to remember, means broken line signifies the absence of channel between drain and source. Gap, this gap signifies the oxide layer, and this arrow from substrate is p to n, so arrow is like that direction. Okay, from n to p, if the for the PMOS substrate is our n, so arrow direction is away. Okay, we will discuss it later. So many video I will give you on this MOSFET basic. So this one is the fundamental symbol representation of a nMOS. Okay, now we have to start with the closure view of a n channel enhancement type. Why we are telling this one is n channel? We are using p type substrate. Okay, substrate over which we are making the device. Okay, this one is channel length, channel width, this one is a oxide. Okay, and this one is a metal, gate, source and drain. Okay, same diagram. Okay, now substrate forms a p-n junction with source and drain region. This substrate p-type substrate forms the p-n junction between p and n. Okay, drain and source region forms a p-n junction. Yes or no? Okay, and in normal operation we have to make it in the reverse bias direction. Okay, clear? In normal operation we have to put this one pn, means if we have to put it like simply, so we have to put in the reverse bias direction, means drain is connected to the positive terminal. Okay, for normal operation. Clear? So in general diagram, general drain voltage, positive voltage with respect to source, we have to give this one should be positive. Okay, to make it reverse bias. Hence the 2p junction can be effectively cut off by simply connecting the substrate to the source in. Substrate to the source in. Okay, so this one will be the simple concept that we have to make this p and n should be reverse bias. Okay, so one more thing, and this gate controls the flow of current in the channel region. I will tell you means how it controls. So voltage applied to the gate terminal controls the current flow between source and drain. Okay, Now we have to go with more detail. Okay, so now this one is the simple your cross sectional diagram: oxide layer, metal, gate, source, drain, p-type substrate. So initially we have to take the p-type substrate. Okay, so operation with no zero gate voltage. If there is a no zero gate voltage, this N and this one is P and this one is N. So two back to back diode will exist. Yes or no? Means when there is a operation with no gate voltage, so if nothing is there, no gate voltage, so this one is a N region, this one is a P region, and this one is N plus region. So two back to back diode will exist, N, P and P and N, and it offers a very high high input resistance or resistance. Okay, so for a zero gate voltage, two back to back diode exist in series. Okay, N region, P region, and P and N between drain and source, so that prevent the current conduction from drain to source. Two back to back diode exist like that. There is a N region, say N plus, and P region. Okay, so there will be no current in this region. Okay, and it is offers very high resistance, around 10 to the power 12 ohm. Okay, the path between drain and source have a very high resistance. This operation will occur when there is a no gate voltage, zero gate voltage. We are not giving any gate voltage. Okay, now next. So operation with no gate voltage is clear, means two back to back diode exist in series and it offers a very high resistance, around 10 to the power 12 ohm. Okay, now we have to think about the channel creation, how the channel forms and how the current flow from drain to source region. So you just think the NMOS with positive voltage, when we are giving a gate to source positive voltage, VGS positive, okay, plus voltage. So this plus voltage, what will do? This positive gate voltage means repelled the holes. Okay, this positive gate voltage repelled the hole from the region of substrate under the gate, means this gate voltage will repel the holes. This p-type, in the p-type material, holes are the majority charge carrier and this majority charge holes will be repelled from the region, from that region towards the substrate. Okay, and the holes are pushed downward the substrate, leaving a depletion region behind, a carrier depletion region. Okay, so when there is a positive gate voltage, the holes are pulled down. Okay, and it forms a depletion region. Also this positive gate voltage attracts electrons near the surface of the surface. Okay, so when we are giving a positive gate voltage, this positive gate voltage will first push the holes from this region, and after that it attracts the electron from the substrate region. So this will cause some depletion region. Okay, so next figure I will tell you. So this one, when we are giving the positive gate to source voltage, this will pulls down the whole region and forms a carrier depletion region, and then after some electrons are near to that surface. So now what we have found that there is some electrons and we are just inverting the p-type region to corresponding n region, and this will forms the some enriched, the depletion region is enriched with bound negative charge acceptor atom. These charges are uncovered, okay, because of the neutralizing holes have been pushed downward into the substrate. The holes are pushed downward towards the substrate, and this one is now populated with the electron. So now we are inverting the p-type region to the n-type region. So the depletion is initiated with the bound negative charge. Okay, due to this get to source voltage, some electrons will be there. So now this is basically a p-type now, but here in the surface of the p-type substrate we are getting n-type region. Okay, so this is our channel n plus n plus structure is your inversion layer, because now there is some electrons will be snatched from the positive gate to source voltage, and there is this one is a formation of some channel. So we are inverting the p-type substrate to the corresponding n-type substrate by giving the positive gate to source voltage. So moreover, the positive gate voltage attracts electrons from the source and drain region, which is available in excess amount of n plus region of source and drain. Then after sufficient number of electrons accumulate near the surface of the substrate, that makes the n region connecting to the drain and source, and the channel forms between the drain and source. Okay, already discussed. Now hence the channel MOSFET comes into picture, where the p-type one is converted into or inverted into n-type region, and this one is called your inversion layer. This effective induced channel formation is called the inversion layer. Okay, so now the threshold voltage, so minimum amount of voltage that makes a inversion layer is our threshold voltage. The minimum amount of voltage get to source voltage that forms a mobile electrons near the surface of the substrate to form a conducting path is termed as thermal threshold voltage. Threshold voltage, minimum amount of get to source voltage that converts the surface of the p-type substrate to n region is our threshold voltage, and Vt is here positive for NMOS and negative for PMOS. Now this MOSFET forms a parallel plate capacitor, okay, between the gate and channel region. How it looks, and this silicon oxide layer, SiO2 layer, works as a dielectric. So this one is the plate area, gate region, channel region, okay, and there is a oxide blue one. Okay, so conducting path, so there is a electric field from that region. Okay, so this one is our the vertical direction electric field controls the amount of charge and conductivity that may cause the current flow in the channel region due to the VDS voltage applied. Okay, so this one is the basic one. So in the next one we will cover the more of this. We will continue this video lecture. So thank you for watching, and please subscribe my channel. Thank you.